All right. Well, we're here on another episode of Reasonably Hyped. This is take two. We need to get one of those little video clapper things or whatever. But look, the good thing is we didn't get into it too far into the topic at hand. I'm Carlos Macias. Please to check out wegotcoms.com. Like and subscribe. We're getting a couple subscribers over there, so thank you guys very much for that. At some point, we will become reputable, just like all the rest of the guys on the internet. Deo, Blas, thank you for joining me, sir. Last time we hit up Nintendo. This time, it's whatever you want to do, man. What are you feeling for this time?
Yeah, for this reasonably hyped, I want to discuss this little bracket that IGN held. I think it was up for about 2 weeks. So basically, the bracket is asking the gamers like what the best video game of all time is, of all time. Mm-hmm. Now they've only listed 64 games on this bracket, so it might be, the cutoff for certain games might be a little bit different, but they have a mix of like modern games and like some old school retro games and everything like that. My main beef with this bracket is that some of these matchups are a little sus. Like a lot of them, I'm like, I don't know about that. Like, you'll see it throughout this bracket.
Now, do you know the methodology for that? Like, how did they decide on the 64? Did they have do you know?
It's public polls. Okay. So you either had to go, I believe, to the IGN website to pull the information on there. And IGN, like I used to like IGN. I still kind of like them, but stuff like
they're
this,
cool. They got some good stuff on there.
They got some good stuff, but like some stuff like this, if you leave it up to the public to make the decision, I don't think it's right. Mainly because it skews a lot to like the more Generation 8 kind of gamers. The more recent.
Which,
games.
to be clear, Generation 8 is that the Switch, PS5, the Xbox.
No, it's PlayStation 4, Xbox One, and
got you.
I guess Switch, Wii U kind of deal.
You.
So there's I get that IGN kind of caters to them a little bit more, to the younger crowd, like the Fortnite people.
I do like kids. A couple things on here, though. I will say I see Metroid Prime. That's like really high up on my list. I was like, where's Tetris? There's Tetris.
Tetris should win. Yes.
I don't see Super Metroid anywhere, and I don't see Planet Puzzle League. So
yeah, it's not on there. There's some they've left some legendary stuff off of this list. I'm happy they have like Castlevania Symphony of the Night on there. Which lost horribly to Resident Evil 4, which I get because Resident Evil 4 is like a very, one of the best games.
I also don't see like Virtual Fighter in here, and you gotta agree with me on this, right?
There's the weird thing about modern gaming in my head is that a lot of people, when they make these kind of lists, they never ever list fighting games, which is like blows my mind, because fighting games, they don't have like a major story, but their gameplay and everything is timeless. So I don't know. That's another,
and it's a pure form of like competition too, right? It's like one-on-one. We're gonna beat the crap out of each other. It's a pugilist sport, like boxing and MMA and stuff like that. We're gonna beat each other down. Mm-hmm.
Exactly. But like, there's some like really stupid stuff on this list. Like on the right bracket, you have Half-Life 2 versus Rise of the Tomb Raider and Rise of the Tomb Raider 1.
See, Super Metroid could have slotted in there, man, or something.
Yeah.
Or
Super Metroid's under there. But like, here's the thing. Okay, you say Super Metroid, right? Oh, there. Right under it, right? Super Metroid lost to Apex Legends of all games.
Man. Come on,
that is ridiculous and completely wrong. So like right out of the gate, this bracket's already total BS, right?
So you were going saying, you were talking about the methodology, and it's all fan base, right? But even I'm thinking like the Game Awards, even they like know to like. I think they do like they do take fan votes, but I think it only accounts for like 25% of the vote or something. Whereas maybe you know better, but what's the rest that makes up the Game Awards bracket?
That's basically how they do it. Like they take everyone else's fan vote constitutes as like one vote. So then like they have I don't know how many it is each year, but it's like 5 with one as a tiebreaker, and they normally have like one vote is the how do you say, is the survey of like the fan vote. They even have a separate award for like fans only, like this is the fans favorite game. So they satiate that. But this was just barely based off of fan feedback.
Look, it's a wacky way to go about it, and they could have said like this is the fans what the fans think. 'Cause it seems like pretty official on here, right?
Right.
Best video game of all time, IGN best video game. I'm
Right.
trying to hate on IGN, but they could have said, okay, voted on by the fans. This is what
By
they
the
think.
fans. Yeah. And so ultimately, God of War won, which God of War is a fantastic game. It is
2018 edition.
2018 edition, not
Yeah.
like the OG one from 2004. That one won, which, I mean, to me, it's not my best video game of all time. I get why, it's created such an impact in the video game world and community that everyone loves this game. So I get that. But I mean, starting off the bracket with all these like falsities, I'm like, this is ridiculous. Chrono Trigger lost to Burnout 3 in the first round. I'm like, that's no way.
I do like, so I'm following the thread here. I don't like that Super Metroid was out immediately, but then we got Metroid Prime. Okay, made it against Hades. Okay, that's fine.
Hades,
and it did lose to Super Mario Brothers 2, which is pretty damn good. So that one, I guess that little thread, I feel went along pretty well. But
it's I don't know. But because this skews so much younger. Like people, like the younger kids don't understand how good they have it nowadays compared to what it used to be. Like I don't know if you remember. Here we're gonna bring this up again. The old EGM magazines. EGM did the top 100 video games of all time at the time, and I believe that the year was 2005. When they did this, 2004, something like that. And the number one game was Tetris. That was like the most influential game ever created. Which is
the time previous to that, I think it was number one Super Metroid, then Tetris. So they kind of switched around a little bit.
Right. Yeah, because there were no other games that were pulling and doing the same kind of things those kinds of games were doing. So, I mean, it could be game of the year of all time, God of War, but I highly disagree. I feel like this is such a very biased.
I mean, what we really disagree in here is just the fan, because they're just it's a quick click. There might not even really been thinking about it all that much, right? Which is fine. But I mean, just the fact that they're not necessarily considering the whole gamut of video game history, right? Which I will be honest, this might be a little controversial, but games have never been better. Games, dude, I go back to play some of those early games with like you're gonna die constantly, and I'm like, I'm glad, I'm happy that we've moved from this crap. Like, I know people kind of hate with signposting, and sometimes it's like they're holding your hand and that kind of thing. But to me, it's kind of like, I don't know, games have become something that they're accessible, and they're like, okay, this is, they kind of guide you a little bit, right? So
they've evolved a lot more. I remember playing like the old like TMNT game for the NES, and like there was like game mechanics they never ever told you about. Yeah, you're like, why is this game so hard? It's because they didn't teach you anything. You have to like learn by word of mouth.
so look, I think God of War 2018 is pretty good, and we're excited about the sequel, right? That's coming out, and it was up against GTA 5 that has been remade for like the 5th time in like 10 years, right? GTA 5 is a good option right there. But we'll go with this. Like, what is your best game of all time? What would you say of
of all time?
Mm-hmm. I know it's a tough one. I'm putting you on the spot here.
That's a tough one, because it would either be the Shenmue 1 from Dreamcast. This is my personal.
Okay, I'll follow you there. I'm already kind of like,
it's either that one, or Shadow of the Colossus. Like those two are like Shadow's really high end for me.
Those are, I you know what? So I'll flip it a little bit. You did drop a Shenmue one, because I was gonna go Dreamcast too, but so I think like for me, legit, like the best game of all time. It's hard to say no to Metroid Prime, man. The music was amazing. The fact that they were able to transition from like one of the best games of all time with the Super Metroid and to like a first person shooter, but 3D. It was like 3D first, and like on their first go, and I think it's still the best one out of the three. The music was incredible. I still remember the enemy when there's enemies around. Boss battles. The fact is like the ball works perfectly. This is like, I mean, I'm sure they had the super monkey ball to work with or whatever. Take some advantage of that, right? But it really is one of the best games to me of all time, man. But going with the Dreamcast, so Shenmue, let's be honest here, man. I do like that it was the genesis of kind of like it's become Yakuza and Judgment and all that, which people are like, can we get the next Shenmue? And it's like, no, we have the next Shenmues. Go play Yakuza. Why didn't you buy the first one that was voiced by Luke Skywalker himself? I don't understand. But I will say, if we're going influential or like just the favorite that I really love to go to, but I know it's not the greatest game anymore. It's Jet Grind Radio, man. To me, the music was too damn good. The graphics were too nice. The aesthetics were. It honestly, it kicked off. I think they had done it before, but if you guys remember at the time, we're going from like really crappy, blocky with N64. The graphics were getting a little bit better. But we were still not there. So what Jet Grind Radio decided to do was like, let's do cell shaded. It's gonna look great because we don't have it to where we want it to go,
and it still looks good. Like to this day, like it still looks. The art is so good because like it doesn't age. Our cell shading ages very well.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. I mean, if like Wind Waker, I know all the fans were upset that what is this? This is not the Zelda I was promised at Space World. It's like, shut up. This is look at it. It's beautiful. It looks incredible. But yeah, I would say best of all time Metroid Prime, and second, like a little runner up, Jake. Because look, I think I've said it before on Salient Points on another podcast. But dude, how do you put the reset the camera to the tagging button? Like it's.
Oh,
we had limited buttons. We had limited buttons on the Dreamcast controller, but it's really. I'm trying to tag. Why am I recentering the camera? I just can't get over that crap, dude. And I think even on Vita, the Vita and the PlayStation, they didn't even fix it. It's like from what I remember, I want to go back, but I feel like they didn't.
It was a straight port. No, it was a straight port.
They're like, it was crappy then and it's crappy now. Anyways, look, we respect the guys over there at IGN, right? Best video game of all time. I would have liked to have seen an IGN like the editors kind of. Because at EGM, I think that's how they did it, man. They were like, "We're gonna sit in this room." I'm sure it wasn't all in one sitting. They locked themselves
in a room, and like
I think so.
Like so many times. Yeah,
I think they either I heard it on a podcast or they might have even said it in that feature, right? That they're like, "We locked ourselves in a room and we're gonna figure this out. We're gonna figure this crap out." So we respect them over there. God of War 2018. Congratulations on the fan vote. But we know what matters, man. The reasonably hyped games of forever, Metroid Prime, and what was your choice here? Again, you said Shenmue. Did you say
Shenmue? Shenmue. I said Shenmue.
All right,
both Dreamcast games.
All right, both Dreamcast games. All right, man. Well, it's been an episode, Deo. Thank you for joining me, sir. And we'll do a little more reasonably hype next time. See you guys.
Thanks, Carlos.
Later. Yep.